Hi guys, welcome to the show. My name is Seb Ostrovich, aka the Voice of the People, and this is the Weightlifting House podcast. Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Weightlifting House podcast with your host Seb Ostrovich, the Voice of the People, joined of course by the People's Coach, the one and only Glenn Pendley. Now Glenn, I just saw on your Instagram actually, as we were talking before this, I went on your Instagram and I saw your most recent post. Mac, your dog, who I've met a bunch of times, one of the greatest dogs ever, one of the loveliest dogs actually I've ever met, passed away this morning. Which absolutely sucks. I mean, I've never had a dog, so I've never been through that.
I have not posted on Instagram yet.
Uh-huh.
So I'm not sure who posted that, but
I just saw it. I just saw it on your Instagram.
Oh. Wasn't me.
Maybe Dustin. I mean,
could have.
Does Dustin know?
I don't know. I'm kind of curious about that now. It's like, check my Instagram and see what the heck's going on.
That's really strange. You should check. Honestly, I literally just went on and it was posted 13 minutes ago, and it's a video of Mac.
How do you figure out what you've posted yourself on Instagram?
It's amazing that you don't know how to do this, even though you're able to post on Instagram. When you're on your Instagram app, on the bottom right, there are 5 little buttons along the bottom. The one on the bottom right, you click that and you can see your profile.
Well, I don't have 5 little buttons right now, so I'm going to back up.
Oh.
Okay, I have on the bottom right.
Yeah.
There's one on the left.
Yeah.
Okay, so which one should I go for?
The one on the right. The furthest right.
Right. Okay.
Bottom right, and that will take you to your own profile. Then when you scroll down, you can see all your own videos and stuff.
I see.
Yeah?
I see. Yeah, there's a video of Mac right there.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
Wow.
3 videos of Mac. How did that how does this happen? Like,
I don't know.
That's so bizarre that I only found out a few minutes ago and already somehow someone has gotten onto your account and posted that.
Gremlins.
Yeah, it must be.
Oh, yeah, Mac just literally haven't really emotionally had it hit me yet, but...
Yeah, haven't digested it, I guess.
No, he was having trouble this morning.
Uh-huh.
For the last... You've known, at the camp you knew he was going downhill.
Yeah.
Camp.
Yeah.
So he's been getting worse and worse and losing weight, having a harder and harder time walking, and just basically not getting around very good.
Uh-huh.
And last night, kind of tried to stand at one point and kind of collapsed. And I was like, oh, this is not good.
No.
I thought about getting up and taking it to the vet. And I thought, well, the vets are closed, small town.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe he'll be fine till Monday.
Yeah.
He was kind of shaking and everything like that, having trouble breathing.
Yeah.
And so once he got okay, once he started to act like he had a hold of himself, I said, well, take him out to feed the chickens. Because he always liked to do that. He likes to do that.
Yeah, every morning he seemed to love going out.
He loves to do that.
Yeah.
And so he went out with me to feed the chickens, and he couldn't make it back. So I had to pick him up and carry him back.
Mm.
And we made it to the porch.
Yeah.
And I put him down to catch my breath.
Yeah.
And
you realized
when I put him down, I think he was dead.
Yeah.
He died. I was carrying him back to the house.
Mm.
I didn't really know the exact second it happened, but sometime between the chicken coop and my house, he was alive when I picked him up.
Yeah.
Probably barely, but by the time I set him down on the porch, he was not with us anymore.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like a lovely thing in that the fact that when Mac did, at the moment that he passed away, like as cliche as it is, he was literally in your arms, and that's kind of nice. You know what I mean? Like when you got him and he was young and he was small and all of that, and then that's how it kind of ends off. I mean, he was like, what, 14 or 15? He was getting on.
He was 14 and something.
Yeah.
Could have been 15. I don't really know exactly when he was born because I didn't get him until he wasn't little when I got him. He was about a year old.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah.
So I don't know if he is 12 months exactly or 18 months. I don't know.
He was what, a rescue dog, was he?
Yes.
Yeah.
He was rescued from dogfighting place.
Uh-huh.
They had fought him, and he was beat up real bad. Got taken by the cops when they raided the dogfighting place.
Yeah.
When they take pit bulls that are fighting dogs, they don't keep them forever. You know,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
the Humane Society. And the Humane Society probably puts them down within a day or two.
Jeez.
They don't normally get a lot of people wanting a fighting pit bull. You know?
Yeah, aggressive. Yeah.
A lot of things are aggressive and mean.
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of them usually they are. But
yeah.
So he told me that Matt, they got this dog up there that's very pretty, and he seems nice. He's all torn up because of dogfighting.
Yeah.
But he doesn't seem mean. He seems pretty nice, and
he's lovely.
Yeah. So I went and looked at him, and he's the most beautiful dog. Beautiful dog.
Yeah.
And right, he wasn't mean. He wasn't a mean dog at all. In fact, he was a scaredy cat.
Yeah, he is, isn't he?
Scared of chickens.
It's funny.
He's scared of everything.
Yeah.
Scared of cats, scared of chickens, scared of everything.
He's like the most jack dog I've ever seen. And he could take on almost anyone, but he's actually a bit of a scaredy cat.
Yeah.
That's
he was.
Funny. Yeah.
Like a big 95-pound pit bull that will run away from a chicken.
Terrified of Cortez.
Anything. Oh, yeah. It's horse.
Yeah.
Anything. But, you know, he's been a good dog. And
yeah, of course.
And I just got to bury him. And
yeah. I mean, 14 years. Like you must have got him back in Wichita Falls.
Yes.
And then he traveled. He would have been there when you first met Donnie. He's moved to California with you. He's at Cal Strength, MD. Like, he's been...
Yes.
You know, he's like he's a dog that's seen more weightlifting than most weightlifters.
He's a well-traveled dog, and he's always been in practice with me.
Yeah, every day,
Camps, he's at every practice.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
And usually watching, you know, he's not really hanging out. He's watching. But,
he watches the lifting, yeah.
Seen a lot of lifts.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I wish Joe was actually probably the most talented athlete that I've ever coached, because he was a huge jumper when he was young.
Mac was, yeah. I remember you telling me this.
Like crazy.
Yeah. What was the height of the wall that you said that he could scale?
Well, he jumped over a 6-foot fence. Like, jumped over it. Not scaled it.
Like,
literally cleared it.
Like, cleared it, no touching.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
With my son's bunk bed.
Yeah.
Was the top bunk bed. And it was about, the top of that bunk bed was about 6'5" or 6 maybe.
Yeah.
It's higher than I am. And Mac, several times, got down, not a running start, got down on the floor of my son's room.
Yeah.
Jumped up into that bunk bed. And he didn't claw it up. His butt the bed first.
Wow.
Not his arms. And drag himself.
Yeah.
He literally jumped so high that he was able to land on his butt on the top of the bunk bed.
That's like a full 6-foot vert.
Which is an enormous vertical jump.
Yeah.
He was a very athletic dog.
Yeah.
But he's not athletic anymore. You know, he's last few years old. He's been going downhill, and he's lost weight from, you know, at one point he weighed 95 pounds. Very, very jacked dog, you know.
Yeah.
He went slowed down to 85, then down to 75, and I think now he's probably about 70. He's
Yeah.
Been feeding him hot dogs and peanut butter and everything to try to get him weight, but digest it, I guess.
Anything to build up that muscle mass again.
Exactly.
Yes.
But he's gone now.
Yeah, that's such a shame. It's a real shame, but it's one of those things, isn't it? Well, shall we try and, as normal, move our conversation towards the topics in which we plan to speak?
Isn't that always the hard thing?
It is, yeah.
Stop talking about stupid shit and start talking about weightlifting.
Yeah, I mean, last week we started talking about like the future of technology. I don't quite know how that happened, and I feel like we could go down that rabbit hole again, because I just saw in the news a few days ago that Elon Musk had sent a car into space. But I'm going to do everything I can to not go down that track, because this is not what people listen to us for. They listen to us for the weightlifting.
How many people have you had actually email in or text in or whatever and say less technology and more weightlifting?
I've not had anyone say less of that. In fact, I've had people say that they love the bit at the start.
Right.
They love like the 10 or 15 minutes where we just talk about something random that's happened in our lives.
You know what? This is interesting.
Okay.
And it kind of has to do with weightlifting, because I've always had dogs. Always.
Okay.
Got my first dog, that's my dog, when I was maybe 6 or 7.
Yeah.
It was a blue tick coonhound named Ruger.
Yeah.
And since then, I always had one dog after another. I've never been dogless for very long, like less than, when Ruger left us, I got Dolly, who was a female redbone hound.
Right.
I think it's like half redbone, half bloodhound.
Yeah.
Her name was Dolly, and she was a fantastic little dog. Went everywhere with me.
Yeah.
Just like Mac did. And then I got Murphy, which is a basset hound, which is the most worthless dog ever in the world.
Okay.
I loved Murphy. He was a great dog. I loved him to death.
So what does this have to do with weightlifting?
Well, it has to do with, because I'm going to get another dog, of course.
Okay.
I was going through the dogs I've had in the past. Blue tick coonhound, redbone coonhound, redbone bloodhound mix, basset hound. Had a whole bunch of cattle dogs.
Yeah.
Australian Shepherd, couple of them, Border Collie, the little Blue Heeler, and then Mac. You know, and while I love Mac, and he'll have a place in my heart. As a pit bull, I don't know if I want another pit bull because, number one, Mac was such a unique dog, such an individual.
Yeah.
For a pit bull, he's a very, very gentle dog. I don't know what the chances are of me getting another dog. Same thing with Mac. Just very low.
True. Yeah.
And so, if I had to point out the dogs I liked best over the years, they were cattle dogs. Border Collies. I had a Border Collie and Black Lab mix that was the fantastic dog I've ever had, smartest dog I've ever had.
Yeah.
Maggie. Had a little Blue Heeler named Lucky, who was a great, great dog. And I really think that the only reason I wouldn't get a Australian Shepherd is because I had bad luck with them.
Right.
I had two of them. Both of them were registered, and both of them were very good dogs. Paid big money for them. Great bloodlines and champion parents and everything. And one of them got hit by a car. One of them ran away.
Oh no.
That's bad luck.
Yeah.
Not anxious to go down that hole again with another Australian Shepherd.
I mean, what's that saying? No, you fool me once, that's my bad. You fool me twice, my bad. You fool me twice or three times.
Australian Shepherds are wonderful dogs. Wonderful dogs. But I just don't know. I think I'm just like, it's like I've got a bad feeling in my stomach about getting another one.
Yeah, I mean, if you get one and something goes wrong again, it's almost like it's your fault this time. Like, you didn't get the hint. Like, two times it didn't work out.
Blue Heelers are fantastic. They're smaller, and Mac was a big dog. He's the biggest dog I've ever had. I'm okay with getting a smaller dog now because I kind of, I just got Max, so I'm okay with getting another small dog this time.
Well,
I'm really thinking because Brandon has a Blue Heeler.
Oh right, yeah.
Chance.
Yeah.
And Nicole evidently have joined some Blue Heeler Rescue Association up in Colorado. And they've already told me that when Mac did go, they would be happy to help me get another dog, a Blue Heeler.
All right, okay. That's perfect.
So I'm going to call Brandon after this is over and say, what? I'm up for a Blue Heeler.
Yeah. Well, I've never heard of a Blue Heeler until just now. We don't have them in the UK, but I've just searched them, and they are blue. They literally kind of look blue. That's crazy.
They're smart too.
They're gorgeous looking dogs. Yeah, they look almost like a Border Collie. Mixed with a German Shepherd or something. Yeah, they're lovely. Yeah, get one of those. Yeah. Yeah,
they're very smart dogs. Maybe the smartest dog. I mean, they're great, very smart herder dogs. But I don't want to get another pit bull because I'm always going to compare it to Mac.
Yeah.
And
it's going to lose.
I think I've had the best pit bull I could have, and so
you're going to move on from there.
Wrong.
Yeah.
So
we'll see. I enjoyed that digression, I must admit, but I still don't know how it quite related to weightlifting. But I'm glad that we went there. I'm glad that we went there.
Because it's camp, I'm going to have another dog.
Oh, okay. So you're relating it to the camp.
All my camps knows the dog is a big part of the camp. The dog
The dog is. Yeah.
Every practice. And the dogs I've had, Mac, so far, they watch the training.
Yeah.
They follow me from platform to platform.
Yeah.
Watch everybody lifting. And so the dog's a big part of the camp.
I wonder if a good weightlifting coach translates to a good weightlifting trainer translates to a good dog trainer. Are you by the fact that you're such a good coach, does that mean that you're going to be a good coach of dogs? No.
This here, I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
I guess you can't tell a dog to go to max every time it eats or goes to the toilet. It's just not possible.
No, but I will say that Maggie could do a lot of cool things. Climb ladders.
Really?
She could play goalie in soccer.
Yeah.
And you could not get a ball by that dog.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Goalie.
Like a great keeper. Yeah.
So she's a great dog.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was because of me. She's a smart dog,
Mm-hmm.
She also, like, if one of my kids was in the yard playing and tried to get too close to the street, she'd grab him by the diaper and pull him back.
Yeah, that's great. That's what you want from a dog.
She's a great dog.
Yeah.
If I get another dog, you remember at CrossFit Pie?
Yeah.
Little Border Collie mix.
Yeah, they've got a lovely one there, yeah.
That was the mirror image of Maggie. Younger, and I think it was a boy. Maggie's a female.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. If I could find another dog just like that, I'd get that dog.
Yeah.
Maggie was the most smartest, most well trained without being trained dog I've ever had. She's a very smart dog.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'm going to get another one like her either. So it might just be time to go with the blue heeler.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout. Well, I don't know how we've done this. And I never believed that this would ever happen, that we would actually spend 20 minutes talking about dogs on the weightlifting show. But we have done. It's a record, and as our listeners know, we are always after new PRs, so I suppose we've kind of nailed one out of the bag. But maybe we should get to the main topic of the day, which is, and this was your idea, you wanted to talk about this, is talking about the carryover from assistance exercises to the competitive lifts. We haven't really discussed this yet, so I think there are a few avenues that this could go down. And I'm kind of interested for you to take the lead and me to kind of see where this is going to be heading.
Well, the first avenue to go down is, let me ask you.
Okay.
What do you think has more carryover to the snatch? A snatch double from the floor or snatch from the knee?
For a single?
The note one from the knee is a single.
Okay. I think the snatch double has more carryover. Oh, I don't know actually. That's a good question, because I spoke to Ian Wilson about this once, and he basically was trying to justify why he just snatches heavier every day, and he said, you do a snatch, and that's going to translate 100% to the snatch. Then you do it off blocks, and it's a little bit less, and then you do it for a triple off blocks, it's even further. And then you do it for a triple power snatch off blocks, and you're so far away from transferring to the lift that why didn't you just do the lift? So I see, I don't know which one would translate more, a double from the floor or a single from the knee. I mean, if it was off blocks, I think I'm going to change my. Glenn, I don't know. I think they're both pretty.
I don't know who does know.
No,
I don't know.
No,
I don't know. And so, or the other question: what translates over to the snatch better? From the hang at the knee or off blocks at the knee?
I'd say off blocks.
I probably would agree with that.
Yeah.
But I do think there's some things that's a hang from the knee. There's advantages to that, even though it probably doesn't translate one-to-one quite as much.
What would that be?
Talking about all this stuff, if you lower the bar fairly quickly, you get what's that cause when you lower it right to your
stretch reflex?
Yes, stretch reflex.
Yeah.
Exactly. So because that involves stretch reflex, you should, I say should because who knows, but you should be able to contract the hamstrings slightly more forcefully you go from the hang.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I could make an argument that from the hang, you should be able to do a slightly heavier weight from the hang. If you do the eccentric fairly quickly, and a quick reversal, you come off blocks. And I think that holds out in practice also. I think that in practice of people I've coached, usually that ends up being true.
Yeah.
But this whole conversation kind of is a conversation about what is better, and we're talking about a whole bunch of things that carry over very, very well.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of a moot point, in other words.
Right.
Because I think Ian Wilson is 100% correct in that a snatch from the floor to max translates perfectly.
Yeah.
Whereas anytime you change something, it translates a little bit less.
Yeah.
But when you change something, that causes more adaptation in the body. Because, for instance, if you did a fast stretch reflex and reversal going from the hang at the knee,
yeah,
that allows you to contract your hamstrings slightly harder.
It's almost, I suppose, like you take it further away from just doing a single snatch, but then you're able to, whilst it might not have as much an effect as a single movement, it allows you to put a greater emphasis on a single portion of the lift and train that with more intensity.
100% correct, in my opinion, anyways. And for that reason, including things like snatch from the hang, snatch double, that even though they don't transfer quite as well, 1-to-1 as a heavy snatch, it causes more adaptation in the body.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's true. It's true.
There's a give and take there. If you do a set of 10 on the squat, and previously all you've done is Bulgarian training, max snatch, max plunger.
Yeah.
Certainly do a set of 10 on the back squat. Of course, that's going to cause havoc in your body.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to cause a whole bunch of adaptation.
Yeah.
But the transfer is going to be practically nothing. You know, from one workout at least.
Yeah.
Everybody in training is trying to split the difference, so to speak, between doing something that causes a little bit of adaptation, that is enough different that you can go to max more frequently, and just going to max, which causes the perfect adaptation.
So you're talking about, you're almost talking about, and correct me if I'm wrong, the conjugate method. Is that right?
I wouldn't put it that way, actually, because, you know, the conjugate method, people get their pennies in a wad.
Well, no, I know they do, but I mean, that's
Louis Simmons, and that's bad, and you're bad for saying that, you know?
It's variations and taking the individual variations to maximum.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And that is, in my opinion, has a lot of worth, because no one could deny that there has been a lot of research which shows that when you go to max in the same movement again and again and again ad nauseum, eventually your body kind of rebels and becomes less able to contract all your motor units.
Yeah. I suppose if you keep changing the angle or the speed or the distance or something, that tiny little bit of change every time is enough to trick your body into furthering adaptation continuously.
You know, everything's on a scale, a gradient scale. You know, it's never this is good and this is bad. It's never a binary problem. You know, but I've always believed that introducing a little bit of a variation, such as sometimes doing doubles, sometimes singles, they're both very, very close to what you do in competition. They're extremely close.
Yeah.
But it's enough variation that it enables you to train at higher intensities for longer periods of time without getting, I hate to use the word overtrained. I'd use the word stale. Because stale, I think, to me, when you say stale, that's mental as well as physical.
Yeah. Well, I suppose overtraining is mental as well, perhaps.
Yeah, it is, but I don't think...
But I know what you mean. It's not that you're physically necessarily broken. Your body just won't... It will no longer reproduce the same thing.
Right.
It's just had enough, it's fed up, and it's stale.
Yeah, but when you change this stimulus just slightly, I think it enables you to push yourself harder.
Yeah.
Mentally and physically both.
Yeah.
For a longer period of time before you have to back off.
Yeah.
And then the question is, does being able to push yourself 10% harder or 10% longer because you did a certain percentage of snatches from the knee or doubles from the floor, instead of always just maxing the snatch, make you a better lifter? Or does the loss of specificity,
yeah.
I have a hard time saying that word.
Yeah.
Specificity. Is that loss of that
like which is greater? Yeah. It's like, is the trade-off worth it?
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I remember when I was, I think, a year and a half into the sport, and I snatched 100 kilos for the first time. And then I couldn't snatch over 100, or I hadn't beaten that for like 4 or 5 months. I was getting really annoyed. And I never snatched off blocks, so I started snatching off blocks. Week 1, I could barely hit 85, and then eventually I hit 90. And then I got to the point where finally, I remember it still. I remember where I was in the gym, and I snatched 101 off blocks, which is more than I'd ever snatched in any variation. And it was great.
What you were wearing at that day?
What, sorry?
Do you remember what you were wearing on that day?
I don't remember what I was wearing, but I remember where I was in the gym.
Well...
But anyway, I then took away the blocks for the next few training sessions, and I PR'd.
Example, because I feel like most lifters, me included, when we have done something outstanding, at least to us, we remember what we're wearing on that day. I do, anyways. I'm weird.
I don't remember what I can remember almost every PR I've ever had. I can remember it, where I was, but I can't remember what I was wearing at any of them.
Really?
Unless it's competition, I know it was my singlet, but I only know that because it was competition. I have no memory of what I was wearing at any of these lifts. But I PR'd by 4 kilos. I remember I hit a 4 kilo PR for some reason. I don't know why I jumped to 104, but I did. And I just hit this 4 kilo PR, and I realized it was, I'd been doing snatching constantly the whole time. And as soon as I started training one of the qualities that I lacked, which was speed, and I started training speed I increased the rate of improvement of that one component of the lift by going off the blocks. Then when I put it all back together, I PR'd. And that's kind of true. So you can almost, as a coach or an athlete, you can identify what is it in the athlete, what is it that's not good, what is it that we can improve, which small component is it, train that through a variation or even through accessory exercises, and then bring it all back together.
I think there's a lot of value to that. But I will say that I also think there's a lot of value in what Ian Wilson says,
Yeah.
I think the Bulgarian system obviously works, and there's obviously a lot to learn from there,
Yeah.
So it works good. Yeah. But I think there are people that Bulgarian system just works great for.
Yeah.
One of them, let me throw a name out here that Kevin Cornell.
Yeah.
If anyone could have got him to train pure Bulgarian and not screw around, get involved in all this tomfoolery that he always gets involved in.
Like eating.
Well, eating is one, because you got to eat. But
Call of Duty.
Yeah, Call of Duty had never gotten invented. He might have went to the Olympics.
Wow. Can you imagine that was the thing? It was the Call of Duty that stopped it.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Could have been. But Kevin is probably, Kevin's probably, he's either going to love what I said about him today or hate it, one or the other. He's going to have a reaction to this. But I don't really mind. I think it's going to be good. But because Kevin is one of the most talented lifters that I've ever seen. He's physically unstoppable. Virtually unstoppable.
Yeah.
He's so just built correctly. Every advantage you could have as a lifter, Kevin had it.
Yeah.
And he is the person that could have done the Bulgarian system as written, pound his head against the wall every single day.
And improved.
And become an Olympian and become a gold medalist. I mean, he would have been the best lifter. I mean, been so good it's just almost unreal.
Wow.
He would have been the person.
Wow. I mean, it's amazing that you're saying that. I think a lot of people wouldn't have picked him just because he was always like the number 3 at whatever gym he's at. He's at number 3 guy. That's amazing.
That's mental. It's not physical.
Yeah.
He's so much physically more able than John North. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
John knew that.
Yeah.
John's going to listen to this and say, of course he was.
Yeah.
Kevin's a freak.
Yeah.
He always thought, the videos about where he says, why am I not as big as Donnie? Why is Donnie so big?
Yeah.
That's just, the crazy thing is, Kevin could have been bigger than Donnie.
Yeah.
Lifted more than Donnie.
Mm-hmm.
Physically, he was able.
I feel like Donnie just had such a high mental edge over Kevin, perhaps.
Of course he had.
Yeah.
Kevin never came close mentally. Kevin couldn't have beat Donnie just because of the mental edge.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have let himself beat Donnie.
Mm.
I mean, there's a lot of lifters like that, that they're not going to let themselves win, because they're not comfortable winning.
Mm.
They're comfortable being number 2 or number 3.
And that's that thing that you always hear in these motivational clips, is that the thing that's holding yourself back is you. It's almost the fear of achieving what you want to achieve. You won't let yourself. It's almost like it's self-sabotage at some point.
Well, you don't think about John like that, do you? No one thinks of John like that because he's totally different personality than Kevin.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Donnie, John had the same thing.
Which
John
was what?
would have had a hard time beating Donnie.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. I think he would have.
Yeah.
But it would have been difficult for him mentally to defeat Donnie.
So you think that maybe even he'd have beaten him on the snatch and then just not been able to quite go there in the clean and jerk?
We can't say what would have happened in a different world.
Yeah.
But I feel like Donnie has such a mental edge. John looked at himself. His self-image was of a person that's not as good as Donnie.
Right.
John's self-image was someone that's not quite as good or as strong as Donnie. And I think that would have made it very tough for him to actually beat Donnie.
Now, I wonder, you may be able to provide some insight in this. Is that almost... I know this is entirely speculation, at least from my part. You might actually know this, but say John beat Donnie in the snatch, and then it was there for him to take the lead on the clean and jerk if he hit, say, 190 or something. Do you think that it was the fact that John didn't want to win because then the dynamics of that relationship would change and that wasn't as a desirable thing to happen because he was so happy with how things were? Or do you think it's more deeply subconscious than that?
Well, I don't know. I honestly don't know.
Like the fear of pissing off Donnie and ruining a good relationship with a guy who you admire so much.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
And I don't even want to speculate on that because I just don't know. I'm not a psychologist, know. I'm just not. And so
Yeah.
But I think that there is something inside of almost everybody that is comfortable with where we are and who we are in life.
Yeah.
Some people are very comfortable being number 2 or number 3.
Well, we are very much aware of where we are on the pecking order of almost everything, and we get comfortable there.
That's chickens.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I see chickens every day in my chicken coop.
Yeah.
And there are certain chickens. They may be bigger than other chickens, but the pecking order, they're slower down.
Yeah.
So they don't bother. The chickens are higher in order.
Is that why it's called a pecking order?
Yes.
Wow.
Chickens have a very distinct pecking order.
I think that's like the first knowledge bomb this show has ever had. Like a true knowledge bomb.
If there's 20 chickens, those chickens will self-rank each other from 1 to 20.
Wow.
And each one will know exactly what other chickens they're higher in the pecking order than, and exactly what chickens they're lower than.
I wonder if, I know we're getting psychological here, but I wonder if it's almost the fear of trying to change your position in that is you're going to be on show for the rest of the group to see, and they can then shun you for it, and they can outcast you for trying to change your position. And the safest, easiest thing, stay quiet, stay where you are, and make the most of it.
Right.
We're probably quite similar to chickens.
I wish I knew all that stuff, but
I know.
But I think that's a big thing in weightlifting because, you could think of lifters who you just think are always going to lose to another person.
Yeah.
And many times that's not all physical.
Yeah.
Some of it's mental.
Mm.
That Demos won 3 gold medals, and 2 of them he won, but after a tie.
Yeah.
Tied on body weight, ended up coming out on top.
Yeah.
Now I think that most probably, the pecking order, so to speak, has something to do with that.
Yeah.
Demas was a very dominant person,
Yeah.
mentally.
Yeah.
He was going to do what he needed to do to stay number one.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the German guy, God, what's his name? I can't remember his name. He lost to Demas almost always.
Yeah, I know who you mean. I just can't think of his name right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Beat Demas several times, like in the Europeans, but in the Olympics, he'd lose.
Yeah.
I'm sure it would have been mentally very hard for him. It would have upset his world to win. As odd as that may sound, it sounds weird. Who was not like to win? But some people are very comfortable with where they are.
Yeah.
Comfortable being number two.
Yeah.
And now we're far, far, far away from assistance exercises and carryover.
We are, but it's interesting. And I think another of those situations which I've heard of is, I heard Norwick talking about, I might have even mentioned this before on the podcast, but Norwick was talking about what it was like in the 2008 Olympics, in the A session, when they were all in the back rooms, like warming up, and then Ilya turned up, and it was all quiet, and everyone was keeping to themselves, and Ilya turned up loudly, and he went and he shook everyone's hand, and he said to everyone, good luck, I hope you all hit PRs, I hope we all get good records, let's do this, or whatever. And it was almost in doing that he was showing that he has zero fear, that even he wants everyone to do so well, but then it's okay because then he's just going to hit the winning lifts. He's letting everyone know that they don't have a chance, even just by being that kind. It's almost like he's shown that there is zero fear. There's zero chance that he's going to lose. Apparently he would go and cheer lifters on as they went out, and he'd say, come on, go get this. Like, it's a new PR for the person. But, like, how much would that screw with your head if you're trying to beat him and you're in silver medal position, you're going up for the gold, he has a lift remaining, and he says, go get this, you can do it. You'd be like, what the hell?
That's one devious motherfucker.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, holy cow.
Yeah.
But,
crazy.
Everybody hears things about how Ilya is, and I never heard anything bad about him.
No, apparently he's a lovely guy.
This guy, including from you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
He's responded to you in several ways. I mean,
he did, yeah.
Guy.
Yeah, he's spoken to me. He's nice.
There's a big thing, and people underestimate when you see a bunch of lifters, like, for instance, the ones from Cal Strength and Muscle Driver.
Yeah.
There is a pecking order. Always.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
There is. And Kevin, even though, back to Kevin now, I think he had the perfect body physically.
Mm-hmm.
I can't think of somebody that I've ever worked with or coached that I think, okay, this guy could have been way better than Kevin.
Right.
Kevin had the perfect levers, height, physique, musculature, flexibility, lockout. Everything he had was as good as it could be.
Yeah.
But he didn't ever do the weights anywhere near he was capable of.
Mm-hmm.
I really think that something in there is psychological. And if you think about it, several times Kevin made really, it's going to maybe get a little too personal, but I'll try not to be too personal.
Yeah.
Several times in the time that I knew Kevin, he made really, really poor decisions for his lifting.
In what sense?
It's like, if I just stuck with the status quo, I would have to try to not be number one. You know, it's like I have this clear path to having a huge total. It's like number one ranked in the U.S., like way above John, et cetera, et cetera.
He'd almost deviate off it.
And he managed to do a stupid thing each time that path was open to him, kind of screw up in some manner in his personal life mostly.
Right.
And sabotage those efforts.
Yeah.
Because I can think of 2 or 3 times when Kevin would have just not completely screwed up.
Mm-hmm.
He was set to probably one of the better lifters ever in the U.S.
Wow.
You know, better than John or Donnie or whoever else.
Yeah.
And he managed to screw it up. He managed to do something, make some decision that totally torpedoed the chances.
Yeah.
In spite of that, I think Kevin's the greatest guy I've ever coached. He's a great guy. Great guy.
Yeah.
Not everyone is going to be number one. Not everyone's comfortable with it.
Yeah.
Not everyone has that mentality. Not everyone does.
Yeah.
I don't think it's against them if they don't, you know. But some people just don't.
But I mean, you're right. I mean, it takes a different kind of mind to, say, turn up to Cal Strength with those guys already being the best, and despite not being as good as them, believing to yourself, I'm going to beat this guy. Like, Donnie is number 1 right now. I'm going to beat him in 3 years. I'm going to keep training. He's a worse athlete than I'm going to be. I'm going to be a better lifter than him. Like, that's a difficult thing to say and believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the fact is, Donnie is just such a dominant personality.
Yeah.
That it would have, for somebody like Kevin or whoever, it would have been incredibly hard to overcome that on a personal level.
Yeah.
I think the person that could have maybe had the most likelihood of doing that would have been Spencer.
Yeah.
But he didn't. But,
he's a confident guy.
I think Spencer was just a kind of a freak guy as far as on strength and everything. He's so freaking strong.
Yeah.
Kind of broke all the rules. Very strong.
Yeah.
But
I've got a way to bring this back somewhat, because this is what I was thinking when you were talking about how Kevin is perfectly made for the Bulgarian system. So I wanted to say, is that because he is, as a human or as a weightlifter, I don't know if his proportions or his muscle insertions, I don't know what it is, but it's almost like he's perfectly balanced, whereby if he does the lifts, everything is going to improve at the same rate, and he's not going to get imbalanced in any way.
That's pretty much what I think.
Okay, and is that why...
if he squats, if clean and jerks, it's going to make his squat go up.
Right.
He's so perfectly built that everything works correctly.
Yeah. That's it.
A lot of lifters that, they can clean and jerk till they blue in the face. Never going to develop the big enough squat to do a world record clean and jerk.
Yeah.
Kevin is not like that. Kevin, if he just kept clean and jerking, I talked to you, I think, before about how Abadjiev had said, not to me personally, I don't think, but he had said in an interview somewhere, I think, that if he had it to do over again, had one step to make left, he would have tried to research or try to what's the word for this? Experiment with doing only snatch and clean and jerk.
Yeah.
No squats.
It's almost like taking his program from where it started through to its logical conclusion would be snatch and clean and jerk.
It would have been just snatch and clean and jerk. No squats whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
He thought it would have maybe been even better if they'd axed the squats.
Yeah.
But I think in an interview that he did about that, he said that he knew for sure the program worked
with the squats.
World records with squats.
Yeah. So why change it?
We're paying him for world records, so why change it when he knew it worked?
Yeah. It's the sort of thing where if they weren't winning and they were number 3 in the world, maybe give it a go, because it might bump you up to number 2. But
I think that Kevin might have been the correct guy to try that with just clean and jerk and snatch.
Yeah.
Because he was just proportioned perfectly for weightlifting.
Uh-huh.
He might have been able to develop top lifts with just the lifts, not squats.
Yeah. And so to tie that into the assistance work, do you think it's why, as far as I knew, the Bulgarians had a certain height to weight index that every athlete had to be, fitting of to be able to be on that team? Whereas when you get a country like Russia or the US, where everyone is built so differently, if you put them all into this one system, where one person has a strong lower back and a weak upper back, and the other person has a strong upper back and a weak lower back, if you put them all in the same program, these differences, there's a word that I'm looking for, I can't think of, they're just going to get greater and greater. The disparity is going to increase gradually, and so you have to have more specific programming, more accessories to build up the little bits of weaknesses that each athlete has. You can't funnel them all into one program and get the same results.
I agree with that. And I'll say that if I was coaching Kevin, I'd go back in time and coach Kevin on a ideal program.
Yeah.
I think it would probably be a Bulgarian program.
Yeah.
But if I was going to coach John, for instance, it would have happened. Would have required a lot of work.
Yeah.
To get the legs up.
Yeah.
And so, a guy like John that isn't quite built correctly for lifting. John's a great athlete, great guy, but he's not built perfectly for lifting.
Yeah.
Whereas Kevin really was.
Yeah.
John would have done better on I think, on a program that paid a little more attention to building the muscle.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
John's actually a guy with great big muscles.
A little bit more Russian.
Yeah,
Or
exactly. Well, Kevin
Chinese.
is.
Yeah.
He naturally has huge muscles.
Yeah.
You know, and so they would have had to have different programs, I think, in my opinion, to be the best.
And I guess you
And
tried. You probably tried to get John to do certain things, but again, the program has to fit the personality of the lifter. And maybe,
yeah,
I don't know, you try to get John to do these accessories, maybe he'd rather just max out, and that's where he...
that's pretty much it. That's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, the funny thing is, we all talk about how the ideal training program, the ideal training program is the one that the lifter will do.
Yeah.
If the ideal training program for a lifter is to do 5 sets of 5 on squat with 80%,
Yeah.
it's great if they'll do it.
Yeah.
But if they won't do it, it's useless.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I think that the magic formula as far as assistant stuff is to keep all exercises as close as possible
Yeah.
to the central planar jerk while still introducing the minimal variation needed to actually cause adaptation in the body.
Mm.
I think that can go a long way towards having a lifter or ensuring a lifter keeps making progress when they can't make progress anymore just in a central planar jerk.
Yeah.
There
Now-
are, for most lifters like John, that aren't perfectly built for lifting. Most lifters, there are little things you'll have to pay attention to that aren't built adequately just to snatch or clean and jerk.
Yeah. Now, do you think, you just said that the goal is to pick lifts that are as similar as possible and change them just as little amount as you need to further stimulation or to further adaptation. Do you think that there are some coaches who would say, why only do the least amount to further adaptation? Why not remove yourself further from the lifts, pick loads of exercises that create a vast amount of adaptation, and see if that trade-off wins? Take it more away from the specificity, create more adaptation, more of the assistance work, and maybe that trade-off is actually going to be greater than keeping it specific and only having the slightest amount of adaptation needed at any point.
Well, you know what? I don't like that is because I've done it.
Okay. I'd be interested to hear you say when did you do it and what did you do and how did it go?
I've been coaching for 25 years, so I've tried a lot of things. And I have noticed in my time coaching, the farther away you get from the lifts, the worse athletes do.
Okay.
I've noticed that front squats relate pretty well. Back squats relate about the same, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
If you start doing other kinds of squats, it doesn't do so well.
Safety bar in a box.
Yeah, there's a lot of other things. There's a lot of other things you can do if you're just going for variation. Yes, box squats will create more adaptation. Yes, safety bar squats. Yes, hip belt squats. It's a whole bunch of things you can do. Nothing really works as well as squat and front squat.
Because you're just creating, you are causing adaptation. You're creating a greater difference in your body through doing these safety squat bars or whatever, but you're building strength in areas that are not really as related to just building a small amount of strength in the specific movement of the front squat.
Yeah, and I think that there's a hierarchy, and the reason I asked the question I did at first is because everyone knows that a max single with a snatch is as related to a competition snatch as you can go.
Yeah.
In my style of programming, I guess, is to look for, of course we do that, frequently, but then because most of the people I'm coaching are not built perfectly to lift.
Yeah.
It's not tailor-made to be champions. We're not picked custom with custom genes, Yeah. We start going to the smallest difference you can go. Doubles instead of singles.
Yeah.
From the knee. Off blocks. From the hang. From the knee.
Which is why, you gave us these sets of 5 for the last 3 weeks. We're only doing them for 3 weeks. They've caused a huge amount of adaptation. Like, trust me, I can tell, like, my 3 sets of snatches at 90 kilos this week felt easier than the 3 sets of 5 I did at 80 3 weeks ago. That's how much of an improvement I was able to make off this crazy change. But now I look at the program and would bring it back to doubles, and then it's going to be
Right.
singles again.
Well, we are going for a max set of 5 this
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
But everything else is back to doubles,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be singles soon.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think you've been on this program for 18 months around,
Yeah.
and this is the first time we've done anything but above single or doubles.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've done anything beyond doubles.
It's true, and I often thought that. I thought we rarely even did doubles. I remember thinking like, why have we never done a triple? We've just never done a triple. But
well, if a double relate, most people could do a double. What do you think your max double would be? What percentage of your single?
in the snatch, like if I felt great, like 95%, maybe even probably about 95%.
If I had to guess for myself, I'd say 92 or 3%.
Okay.
But everyone's different there, everyone's different.
I remember I did a triple at 105, and then I hit a single at 115 that same session in the snatch. So I tripled like 90%.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's very good.
But that was my best triple ever. I've tripled 100 a bunch of times, but I've never. I tried 110 for a triple and it was nowhere there. But I mean, I was probably a little bit stronger at that point. I remember that same session. I went for a 120 snatch, caught it, missed it behind. So really, it was probably that triple was closer to 87% of a true max. But
on the snatch, I think you got to train above 90% most of the time.
Yeah.
But if you did a single at 90%, that's a useful lift. That's a lift that has a training effect,
For sure.
training effect.
Yeah.
But the second one of a double, is probably 95, 98%.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what I think. Yeah.
That's very near max.
Mm-hmm.
That second rep is very near max.
I mean, that's what I was doing when I was snatching 90. We have the same idea there. Is when I was snatching 90 for a set of 5, I was trying to work out as I went to the next rep and the next rep, what does this weight feel like? And I figured that fifth rep probably felt like how 110 feels when you pull it for the first time. Right. And that kind of, whether it is or not, I don't know, but that kind of gives me the confidence that I'm imagining that I'm snatching 110 again, or that kind of load.
Well, sets of 5 are not that useful to do long term.
No.
But after 18 months, having them for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
That's what we said. I think that hopefully, I hope anyways, hope it's not a waste of time. I think that you guys will go back to doubles, and the doubles are going to be easier, hopefully.
I'm going to be honest. I actually feel, I know that I'm coming from a period of poor training, but I feel very, very pleased with how strong I feel right now. I do. I feel really strong. Like even my cleans, they feel great. My jerks are the only thing which are a little bit like my upper body strength feels lacking. My jerks and my push press and my bench press are down a bit, but I missed out on that whole cycle where everyone on the team just got their overhead super strong. So, right. Everyone else is probably feeling great overhead. I see everyone every week posting PR jerks just constantly. Right. But I'll get back there at some point. But I feel like my lifting, my snatch, and my cleaner, they're nice. Like nothing feels too.
Do you know what I think is the most useful set of 5 or exercise for 5, even more than the snatch?
Back squat.
No, I'm talking about steps. Yeah,
Okay.
We did on Wednesdays. We've done cleans only for set of 5 for several weeks.
Yeah.
I think that is pretty useful because those are hard to stand up from.
Yeah. I was going to say that. Like you don't have that in the snatch, where the 5th rep in the snatch, like you're struggling to stand up, but that's training something that you don't need to be trained, because if you can't stand up from a snatch, you need to quit the sport. But in a clean, standing up is tough, and standing up that 5th rep makes that first rep easier 3 weeks down the line.
So I think that I've always wanted to use more cleans for higher up sets off blocks.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you're not fatiguing the pull too much. You're just training speed under and then stand. So
do like 10 singles, say, with 90% or 95% off high blocks.
Mm-hmm.
That's a whole lot of standing up.
Yeah.
Catching the bar, it's about stand up, all that whole process without tiring yourself out all that much.
Yeah.
So I think that'd be a good thing. We just haven't done it recently, but I think that's probably good.
Yeah, we should go off blocks again at some point. I've not been off blocks in a long time.
No, the problem is I'm going off blocks on the Pendlay wad.
Is it the different heights and some people don't
Everyone
have blocks?
has different blocks, access to different. That's kind of hard.
Yeah.
But I just built Peter.
Yeah.
My Tasmanian friend just built for me. I like to say I helped him.
Yeah.
More truthfully, I watched him.
Yeah, he's a perfectionist.
Yeah, I more watched than helped.
Yeah. But you eagerly watched and you provided.
I was there when he did it. I was there when he did it.
Yeah.
He built very nice blocks. The Russian design. We have the 2x4s going this way, then turn around going this way.
Yeah.
You see him in a lot of videos here and there.
Uh-huh.
He built a set of high blocks, a set of low blocks for us at the gym.
Right.
And those are great.
Uh-huh.
I put rubber on them, and now I want to build another pair. You know what? The only thing keeping me from building another pair is that I'm kind of scared.
Right.
Because the pair he built are great.
Okay.
You know what I'm really scared of? If I built another pair, they wouldn't be near as good.
Yeah. It's true.
I don't want the pair I built to suffer from comparison to the pair he built.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Kind of apprehensive about building a pair myself because of that.
Yeah. You're right. You know, you don't want to be the person that adds the worst thing to the collection.
No,
yeah.
I don't do that. I don't want to do that.
You don't. Also, I had a whilst you were talking just then, shot into my head. Mark Huster is the person that we were talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, the German who lost to Dimas.
Fantastic lifter.
Yeah.
I think the main reason Dimas beat him was mental.
Yeah.
I may be wrong about that. I don't know either of them very well or at all. So I may be wrong about that. But just to watch them both, what you saw on TV and et cetera.
Uh-huh. And
if I had to guess, I'd guess the mental edge played a role in that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the in 2000. It was when the first, second, and third all had the exact same total.
Right.
Dimas, Mark Huster, and then Asanidze, who was the Georgian who then beat Dimas in 2004 to ruin the legacy, and he's now the coach of Lasher, the best super ever, basically. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't into weightlifting back then, but I can't imagine watching that now, where you have three weightlifters total 390 kilos, and it's all done on body weight. Just crazy.
Right.
Yeah, very crazy.
Good lifting.
Yeah, for sure.
Well,
go on.
I was just going to say, this whole podcast,
yeah.
We're kind of talking about carryover.
Yeah.
To the lifts, the competition lifts, and just to kind of wrap that up a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that the farther you get away from the floor, less carryover it has, but there are some advantages to going from the knee.
Right.
Like getting a stretch reflex, can get a slightly harder contraction from the hamstrings, which in some instances makes it useful. Going from the hip or high blocks enables you to do more reps.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to build up your ability to stand up with a clean,
yeah,
it can be useful.
Yeah.
What you'd lack is practice catching the bounce. That is probably very useful. I can think of a lot of people and reasons, or people who would work well, do well with a lot of practice, getting up from a big bounce.
Yeah.
On a heavy clean.
Mm-hmm.
And then so further away you get from the floor, the less carryover there is.
Yeah.
Also, the further away you get from a single, less carryover there is.
Yeah.
We could debate: is there more carryover from a double, or from the lift-off blocks, or from the hang knee?
Yeah.
No one knows.
No.
The carryover from either is very, very high.
Yeah.
Either one might have certain advantages.
Yeah.
But definitely do not have perfect carryover.
Yeah.
Now, as you get into triples, or these are things that are slightly farther away from max singles on the snatch.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, power triple off blocks.
You get it. Well, you just say you get a triple on the snatch, or snatch from the hip.
Uh-huh.
Both have less carryover. The actual snatch.
Uh-huh.
So you go in a gradually descending order. There's a whole bunch of exercises that are almost perfectly carryover.
Yeah.
A series of exercises that are a little bit less carryover, and there are more reps or, further from the floor.
Mm.
There's a whole, and then off the power snatches, is a max power snatch you catch right at parallel
Yeah.
more carryover than a max double from the floor
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
or less?
Yeah.
I think the max power snatch is probably, for most lifters, the most carryover to a max snatch there is.
Mm.
Because in a power snatch, you're making yourself, the whole object of making it power.
It's still maximum effort, isn't it? That's the thing.
Exactly. Still max effort.
Whereas if you're doing a 95% or a 90% double, the first rep isn't max effort, and the second rep is under fatigue, so it doesn't mimic the first rep. Whereas the power, you're pulling it like a normal snatch. It's a first rep, and also you're putting into it as much force as you would should it have been a PR single full snatch attempt. Yeah.
And I know there's some lifters who have no problem catching weights right at parallel.
Yeah.
Have no balance problems. If you're a guy like that, catching that power snatch right at the point of parallel.
Yeah.
At an absolute max weight, where you're struggling like crazy to keep it above parallel.
Mm-hmm.
That's forcing you to move under faster.
Yeah.
Than you would any other way.
Mm-hmm.
Because the faster you move under and get your feet down, the higher you catch it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember actually when I was at the gym where I train now, where I coach, I remember I was trying to get on the record board and I wanted to hit a 110 power snatch. And I must have gone for it 5 times and I caught it like an inch under parallel every time. But I was actually so happy with the fact that I was pushing, I'm not too far off my best snatch of all time at that point. And I'm able to just, I was training absolute speed, absolute max effort. It's actually a great set. Even if you don't make it, I mean, really catching it on parallel is just a random obligatory line that we've decided is a marker for success or not. But it's not, we just made that line so we have something to judge by. But really, it's just good training.
Right, it is.
Yeah.
I've always said that a power snatch that's just barely missed is probably the best training you can have.
Other than a PR single.
If you catch a power snatch
an
inch below parallel, to where it's a half inch below parallel, just short of actually being power, but you successfully make it, that's a great carryover.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless you're a guy.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
That's snatches.
Yeah.
If you regularly lose snatches behind or in front because you're not stable in the hole, you're not a person to do a whole bunch of training with power snatch.
Yeah. Especially if you're one of those power snatchers who you might be maxing your power snatch, but you're splitting out wide with your feet. Then, yes, you're putting in max effort, but you're not moving. You're not training the same movement. So
that's just nonsense.
Yeah, it is. It's horrible. Now, Glenn, I've remembered, we're coming up. In fact, we've done over an hour now. But there is a topic that I actually wanted to bring up because you mentioned this to me, that you have, finally, the amazing-looking American weightlifting plates have arrived.
They have.
So tell us about them.
Well,
presumably they're not just for you.
Well, I don't know. I might just keep them all.
Yeah.
No. So, I feel kind of bad about saying this because the website's still not live yet.
Yeah.
It will be within a week.
Mm-hmm.
But the plates are here. We're in the process of taking pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And they look fantastic.
Yeah.
I think they're way better than I would have expected.
I want to see them. I really want to see them.
I was worried. I was actually quite worried.
Uh-huh.
Came in. They wouldn't look quite as cool and neat as I thought they would.
Yeah.
But they're here. And if anything, they look cooler and neater than I thought.
Yeah.
They're just the colored plates are just very bright colored. They're gray, white lettering, raised lettering. And so I was really, really apprehensive about, because there's several different bump plates you can buy.
Yeah.
You can buy a different model plate, so it's quite a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
And, it costs more to have colored lettering.
Yeah, that kind of stuff, yeah.
I have raised lettering too, but a lot of things that cost extra. I opted for the most expensive and nicest looking plates that are sold.
It's worth it, yeah.
And because I sold plenty of plates before, Pendlay plates, and I think the way that the industry is going now is that now that people have, you don't run into a lot of customers now that have no bumper plates. Most gyms have a set here or there. And most of the people, if they buy more plates, they're going to want to buy better plates.
Yeah.
Nicer looking plates.
Yeah.
They want to move away from the big old black rubber plates.
Yeah.
Thick and wide and everything.
Yeah.
Into a colored plate or into a plate with raised lettering.
Yeah.
So that the ink just doesn't rub off and you don't have nothing. So I really think that people are going to go to in the future to a nicer plate, not just you need to buy. And I just looked at several companies that have plates out now. I mean, and like American Barbell, their plates aren't not colored raised lettering or anything like that. I just thought, you know what? I'm just going to make the plates that are the best looking plates I can do, even though it costs a little bit more.
Yeah, it's like you're not just going to get back in the game and slot in somewhere. You're going to come back in strong at the top. Like, you can't just turn up with an okay set of plates. You've got to have the best plates on the market again. It's cool. I'm excited to see them. I'm really pumped.
They're neat looking.
And that's the thing, like, when you've put in the hours and the amount of time that you put in and the money that you put in to have these things made just how you want, and it's like your heart and soul into these things.
Yeah.
When you see them and you're scared and they look good, it's just like...
Yeah. I mean, they are great.
I can't, because I've done the same thing as you with, like... I remember just talking when I'm getting it, because I've bought the bars now, I've paid for them, but the end caps, making sure the end caps are like the highest quality looking end caps, like it's things that you don't think about. But I just figured, like, I might as well spend as much as I can on making them as perfect as possible, because why get a second class bar or your plates? Like, I'm sure your plates are going to be phenomenal. I'm looking forward to seeing a professional looking picture of them. And then, of course, I'm looking forward to training on them when I get out there. I'm sure I'll be lifting on them as well.
They are nice.
Yeah.
So it's really nice. I got the colored change plate, fractional plates.
Right.
Got to stop calling them change plates.
Yeah.
Everyone else in the industry calls them fractional plates.
Yeah.
So I got to change my wording.
Fractionals, yeah.
The fractionals and they're really nice plates. I'm super, super happy.
Yeah.
And so, Tony Schuster.
Yeah, Tony Schuster, yeah.
Is the first gym to buy them.
Yeah, he's got a load, hasn't he? I mean, he probably hasn't got them yet, but I heard from Seth that he's buying them.
Have 3 sets. 3 sets of bumpers and fractionals all, and they're all the colored top grade ones. And so I'm very excited to see what he thinks of them.
That's cool. Yeah, they're doing well as a gym. Like, I get the odd picture or video from them as well because they've got that Weightlifting House bar, the prototype that was made,
right.
And they'll post videos. Seth will post videos saying the first ever or the only ever Weightlifting House bar, or the first time anyone has ever snatched 100 kilos on a weightlifting house. But that kind of stuff, like, it's cool that we're both kind of beginning this journey again, and people are getting interested. It's going to be a fun ride over the next few years with the podcast and the equipment and all that sort of stuff.
It will be.
Yeah.
It definitely will be.
So if people, because you said that your website isn't ready yet and might not be for another week or so, if people want to get plates yet, are you telling them to wait, or should they email you, or what do you want people to actually do?
Email me. That'd be great.
GlennPenley@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Yeah. Double N.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic. So the plates are here. I mean, they've gone through customs. Everything's done. Just have to put the last finishing touch on the website and be up and running.
Yeah.
I really hope that the website's going to be done Monday or Tuesday, but I know it won't. It always takes longer than you think.
I mean, I've never seen anyone do I've never seen a company, because I mean, the people you've got who are making your website, I mean, it's going to look amazing, but my word, has it taken a long time for them to get it just right.
It has.
I can't believe it.
And you've seen the version right now that's not live, haven't you?
Yeah.
So it's a nice looking website, but
yeah, that's great.
You're right. There's certain things that just aren't quite right yet, and so I just want to wait until things are right.
Yeah.
And to open up to public.
Yeah. That's it.
But I think it's going to go over big.
Yeah.
Hope it is.
I hope so too. I'm sure it will. I'm sure it'll do very well.
Yep.
Yeah, you'll do great. Right, I think.
But
go.
I I sold Jordan a bar.
Yeah, I think I heard about that. Yeah.
Dustin bought a bar. Jordan
Dustin as
bought a
well.
bar.
Nice.
Um, those are already for sale. The only thing I don't have up on the website or don't have for sale is the weights, but I have a lot of people in preparation for having everything kind of called in or emailed me and said, can I just go ahead and pick a bar right now? And also a few others.
So you're going to have, for people who might be confused with us talking about different things, you're going to be selling plates and bars, and they're basically both ready now. Yeah. Because I've had a few people ask me what's going on, so I, as Weightlifting House, will be selling a bar, but Glenn is starting like an entire equipment company again.
I got you.
Yeah. Great. All right. Well, Glenn, I think we've covered just about everything.
We're a lot.
Yeah. I think we've done well there. Guys, thanks once again for tuning in. I was going to think about maybe saying something else there, but I believe we've now ended. Of course, if you want to follow Glenn, follow everything at Glenn Pendlay. Glenn, your Instagram is absolute fire right now. It's doing a lot better than it was. I'm impressed with the effort that's going into that. And of course, follow Weightlifting House on everything that is Weightlifting House on everything that is social media. Thanks once again for tuning in, and we shall speak to you all next week.